Alright, Monkey Man, directed by Dev Patel, in one word, is badass. First of all, let's jump into the comparison of this movie with John Wick. I think it should be stopped. Why? Because, it's obvious that this movie resembles John Wick in many ways. The cinematography, the fight sequences, and the plot being driven by revenge makes it very hard to detach this movie from John Wick. But if you pass that thin line and try to enjoy this movie as what it's trying to be, I think it's a fantastic experience. Dev Patel has managed to create a very convincing world in this movie, and it's not exactly what India is right now, and it's not a far in the future India either. But it felt like a very immediate future of India and what it could be. It was very interesting to see this amped up version of India in this movie, and it made very clear sense why this movie was not released in India, because it would have been a tight slap at Indian politics state right now, and it would have been also a tight slap at Bollywood in a sense, because if this film was released in India at the time along with the releases of Bollywood, people going into the theater and coming out would have realized that this is possible, this quality of filmmaking is possible in Bollywood. Two things that I really liked about this movie is the use of visual texture and the fight sequences. By visual texture, I mean the small mundane things that happen in the world that were given focus. I think a lot of movies nowadays don't really focus on that part of the world. They only focus on the story, the characters, and what action takes place in the movie. Clearly creates a very disconnect between the audience and the world that the cinema is trying to create. But when it comes to Monkey Man, the visual texture is there because it focuses on the more mundane things like the trees or the lives of the people, the traffic of the world, and that makes the audience more relatable to the world, in turn making it more real. The cinematography is Sharon Meir, and I think he's done a brilliant work of portraying the world. And I didn't know who Sharon Meir was before this movie, but then I looked up his portfolio and I saw Whiplash, which is one of my favorite movies, and guy knows his job. There is not much to say further. He did Whiplash, now Monkey Man, and he's the guy. The fight choreography was seamless. I think there was not even a single punch or a kick in the throat that anyone could miss. One scene in particular, which will stay as my favorite for a very long time, would be the trainee sequence with the tabla, because I haven't seen anything like that, and before seeing it I didn't know I wanted to see something like that. Using a classical instrument as a backdrop of training sequence, that was awesome. It was really good. It felt really fresh. I don't know if that has been previously done in a movie, but I haven't seen it, and it was a very fresh experience, and I was smiling throughout the sequence. I was like, wow, this is cool. The one thing that I didn't like in the movie was the back-to-back flashback sequences, because after one point I was starting to think like, when are we going to see this backstory? I felt like Dev Patel was teasing it too much. Overall, I think for a directorial debut that he acted on, Dev Patel has did an incredible job. I think Dev Patel has clearly stated that he knows what he's doing. Imagine what this guy could do just by sitting in the director's chair. I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited for what Dev Patel has to bring to the cinema. And yeah, that's it.